break before. This is for the wrestling fans out there too. I know we've been piecing out a lot of these videos on the podcast channel. A lot of wrestling fans have been going over there, and thank you very much for that.
What happened?
So Pro Wrestling Sheet, as part of Collider, Ryan Satin, the man who breaks a lot of the stories, has got his nose deep inside of these stories, and he broke a really good one here today. Dave Bautista, if you don't know him from wrestling, you know him from Guardians of the Galaxy. Dave Bautista is in heavy talks with WWE to be in WrestleMania.
Wow.
For a match, but the side, and again, this is you go to read this full story here on Pro Wrestling Sheet. The big part of the story also is All Elite Wrestling, which is that thing we've been talking about. Cody Rhodes started saying they're also in talks apparently with Dave Bautista joining.
Wow,
so
I kind of had a feeling.
I'll tell you what, this is really good. The WWE is finally getting competition. And I think it's going to light a fire under their ass to not be as lazy with storylines, to start to do new things, because I'll tell you right now, and I guarantee it, once AEW, because one thing they're talking about, what they're going to do is have rankings and make the wins count and balance it between the sports and the entertainment, as where WWE right now is all entertainment-ish sports. I think that whatever AEW does right, WWE will start to copy that, and they'll do it well.
Will Dave Bautista wrestle a Chris Pratt or a Bradley Cooper or something?
No, he's gonna probably fight like Triple H or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was
wishful thinking.
But
right?
That's where he was. I mean, he was a wrestler. He had a big feud with Triple H for a long time, and a lot of fights. He was champion, heavyweight champion. I believe he was WWE champion. It was after I took a big sabbatical from wrestling.
There's weight divisions in wrestling? I thought they all just fought the same thing.
Well, there used to be. Back in the day, there was like the Intercontinental Champion, like the lighter guys would fight, and then they used to call it the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship. They kind of went away from that, and then they made it the WWE Championship, and then there was the heavy. It's just too much.
It's a good question, though.
Yeah, no, it was a very good question, but there is still a division. They have cruiserweights and things too. But like there's some guys who are like 200 pounds who are never going to win a championship because it wouldn't be realistic inside of it. So they can fight for the Cruiserweight Championship. But the fact that AEW is making a push to try to get Batista, not only does it say, hey, we're here to play, it also says, we have money. Yeah. Because you're going to need money to go after Dave Batista.
Especially now, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's right.
Crazy.
So,
what league is that tampon girl in?
She's not. She's indie.
She's not going to be in any wrestling federation that was talked about on this show, unless it's in some video to make you sick.
Yeah. Got it.
But as far as like right now, you're going to be hearing a lot of AEW, and you're going to be hearing a lot of.
It's just not catching on for me.
The name itself,
AEW, All Elite
Wrestling, and because they haven't done, but they haven't done anything yet.
Right.
Too when they start making these moments, and they have their first pay-per-view, I believe, is in May. And when they do that, that's going to say a lot because it's got a lot of buzz. Right now, it's got a lot of buzz.
You would think they would have to sit around in a room full of people, though, and say it out loud 15 times and be like, is this weird? Is this I can't tell every time somebody's talking about All Elite. All Elite.
Well, there's a new football league launch this weekend called the AAF, the American Alliance of Football or something.
Yeah, it's tough.
Or Allegiance of Football. And there was a good product on the field. I watched one of the whole games.
Really?
Yeah, I was entertained by it. Mike Martz is one of the coaches. I mean, some old NFL coaches that have like a certain pedigree, and it was a quality product they were putting on the field. But the term AAF is tough. Like vowels are tough to start things off with for people. That's all.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
True.
But in that story, and again, guys, make sure you go to Pro Wrestling Sheet to get the entire story, because the fact that Ryan got that story, that's a big story. But I have to be honest with you. I hope Batista goes to AEW. I hope he goes
because
there.
You think that it will make WWE step up their game.
I think so. I want to see. I liked what Cody Rhodes said. Cody Rhodes to me, like, and I understand, like McCouga and Ellis's argument against wrestling has always been like, we know it's fake sport. But one of the things that I like when they have that sports element to it. I like when there's the announcement. Like I feel like I'm watching a UFC fight with what they used to announce. The way that they used to do it in WWF was, it used to feel like a real big event, the same way you'd tune into boxing or anything too. That's the way, like when Hulk Hogan fought the Ultimate Warrior, people were talking about it at school. Like it was going to be a big pay-per-view sporting event. Now it's more about just the titles don't mean shit in WWE. The wins and losses don't mean anything. And the old school mentality has kind of gone away, and it's been more about the entertainment. Now where Cody Rhodes has made it very clear that they want to go and make the wins count, make like ranking systems and that to me is a lot easier to keep a hold of it all and make people care about your product. And I think that by him doing that, what I really liked about it was that Dusty Rhodes, his dad, and you'll enjoy this reference.
Was Dusty Rhodes the guy from Boy Meets World? Who was the guy in Boy Meets World?
I don't know.
I love that show. When
The wrestler in Boy Meets World?
Yes.
That was Butter.
Butterbean?
Butterbean.
That's not
Yeah.
a
He's a
wrestler. He's a
boxer.
boxer. Yeah. So Dusty Rhodes was a legend. And
Thanks, Cubby.
So in WCW, when WWF was feuding with them, they had
I
this
remember
war.
WCW because
Right.
wasn't that where Hollywood Hulk Hogan was?
Yes. And he went over. That was when the wars were happening. But what's his name? Dusty Rhodes was one of those main bookers inside of there, and he had the war against Vince McMahon. And this is what out of Cody Rhodes' mouth too. My dad went up against the evil king, or the king, whatever you call him, and lost. Now his son comes back years later. Says, this is some Game of Thrones shit, to where now he's coming to go up against him again.
with a vengeance.
So it would be great. I'm very interested to see how it's going to come in. I'll be watching, and look, and I'll talk about it on this show after I see it. And maybe the product just doesn't work, but they signed like Kenny Omega.
Do we still not know where it's going to be? I know that Ryan was talking about maybe TNT.
It's
or
rumored.
maybe-
It was rumored that it's like TNT. I don't know if it's official yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it lands in like another Turner type thing. To where, I mean, how nostalgic and fun would that be?
Yeah.
If it was like TNT.
Yeah.
So